What's going on? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and today is the day of the week where we do our preview. So week 5 preview, Dolphins at Jets. Let's get right into it. You know how we do it. Dolphins offense versus Jets defense. So Dolphins are the 9th ranked offense in the league based off points per game. Jets defense in terms of points per game is 27th. So there's a clear discrepancy. Now, it's early in the season. Statistics can be skewed, but that just goes to show you about where both teams are currently at. Granted, Dolphins lost their starting quarterback into Tagovailoa, so you could also see some regression in that area. Passing yards per game, Dolphins are 3rd in the league. Jets passing defense is 15th. Dolphins rushing offense is 29th, and Jets rushing defense is 13th. So with all that knowledge taken in, let's start with our keys of the game. The biggest thing for the Dolphins, and it doesn't go with the statistics that I just said, but it's to establish the run. It's been a emphasis in press conferences I've heard this week, as well as from the other side as well, and Robert Saleh talking about Mike McDaniel as it being a run-first guy. And clearly the Dolphins have not had success running the football. And whether it was McDaniel speaking on it or assistant head coach John Embry talking about it, there's a clear emphasis to start to get this run game going, as they've literally stated that this offense is run-first, although it has not been through the first 4 weeks. Establish the run has literally been a key of the game probably every single week and is yet to happen. So I'm hoping that this week is finally the week, especially with a backup quarterback. Despite Teddy being a veteran and a quality starter, I just want to see us be able to establish the run, because in order to get where the Dolphins want to go, we have to be able to run the football more consistently than they have been doing. So let's hope that that is done in this game. Second thing, get the quick game going. Kind of similar to the run game. The quick game can be an extension to the run. And that's kind of just how our offense is built. Get the ball out quick to our guys. Let them run. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert. The list goes on and on. Get the quick game going. Protect Teddy. Don't ask him to do too much. And like I said, it's an extension to the run game. Maybe a couple more screens, either to the running backs, receivers, and even tight ends sometime. Maybe get Mike Gesicki more involved. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Establish the run, quick game going, and the third key of the game, play action deep shots. Our offensive line's banged up. Not an excuse, but you don't want to drop back and expect to have time for deep shots, although our receivers are really fast, so it's a little easier. But you want to play action, protect as much as possible when you have people like Greg Little starting at right tackle. Teron Armstead's banged up. Who knows if he'll play? I'm assuming he will, but you never know. So you just want to be cautious in your taking your deep shots in terms of pass protection. It's kind of something we've seen throughout the season so far. So those are the keys to the game. Establish the run, get the quick game going, play action deep shots. Now the players to watch for the Dolphins, I try and not make them the obvious. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I obviously I'm going to, but number 1, Hunter Long, he's finally healthy and practicing, so he might not be an impact player this game. I'm just curious to watch how he's utilized. Like I said, they want to establish the run. Hunter Long is one of our better run blocking tight ends. Obviously better than Mike Gesicki. I'm not sure how the coaching staff views Durham versus Hunter Long. I think the coaching staffs like Durham's blocking, but Hunter Long, I think, provides a little more athleticism in the pass game. So be curious to see how they're utilized, how they utilize Hunter Long. Number 2, he's getting gassed up in fantasy talks, but just for Dolphins in general too. Raheem Mostert, the Bengals game, he had a many more snaps than Chase Edmonds. He was utilized a lot more. So it should be interesting to see how he's utilized. Like I said, key of the game to establish the run. And we can see maybe Raheem Mostert break off some big runs. I'd be loving to see that and just see him utilized to his max potential. And obviously Mike McDaniel, with the relationship with him, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. And then the third player to watch, I couldn't leave him off the list. Tyreek Hill, he's just the ultimate X factor. He's just all over the field. Even in the Bengals game where our offense just wasn't clicking that well, like Tyreek Hill is just, he's so dangerous. And not even when he's getting the ball, like he just creates so much space because of how fucking fast he is. And I know Sauce Gardner said he's got tools to neutralize speed. Tyreek Hill is different, boy. Like, you better be ready. I expect at least one big play from him this game, if not multiple. dude's just the ultimate X factor. So can't leave him off the list. I try and be unique in my decisions on picking players to watch, but it's Tyreek Hill. Let's be real. So that's the offensive breakdown. Now let's go Jets offense versus Dolphins defense. I'm going to start with the numbers. Jets are 20th in points per game. Dolphins are 16th in points allowed. Jets are 4th in passing yards per game, which was a surprise to me, but I think that was earlier in the season. They did have to pass a lot. Dolphins defense is 31st in passing yards per game, so not very good. Jets are 28th in running yards per game, and Dolphins are 11th in rushing yards per game. So, basically, the Dolphins' run defense is good, Jets' run offense is bad, and they're going to look to attack us passing the ball based off the statistics, but I'm going to break down in the keys for the defense what I actually think is most important. And it starts kind of similar to what on the flip side, because the Jets run the same system of offense as us. They don't, obviously, all offenses are different, but Jets offense coordinator Mike LaFleur, had to make sure I got the right one, also from the Shanahan tree, so they run the same style of offense. And once again, it's a run-first offense. It's trying to establish the run and then pass the ball over your heads based off of that. So the first key of the game is to stop the run. Make sure you have eye discipline. As we know from watching our offense, they try and get you out of position and then cut behind the lane that you F up, basically. So stop the run, eye discipline. Don't allow any explosive plays in the run game. Make them one-dimensional, especially with their offensive line being so banged up. I think if you are not able to stop the run consistently, you just make your job as a defense that much more difficult. And that's why I think it's so important that the biggest thing we do is to try and stop the run. Second thing, and this goes along with their O-line being injured, obviously the Dolphins are known for their exotic blitzes, and believe me, they're very successful. Even Robert Saleh in his press conference mentioned it. It's like, yeah, if you look at their yards allowed, it doesn't look good, but their points are down in comparison because their defense, you don't really hear defenses be labeled as explosive, but the Dolphins are. So we play so aggressive that we get explosive plays, whether it be turnovers, sacks, sack fumbles, all of that. But when you do that, you do make yourself susceptible. Whatever that word is, I apologize. I'll be better. But you can let up big plays. So, with that said, I think the Dolphins don't need to be as risky in their exotic pressures due to the Jets being so banged up. So I think you obviously you send out your all pressures, like you still run the defense that you run, but maybe this game be a little more send 3, send 4, and drop a lot of people in coverage because the Jets offensive line is so banged up. Let your guys just win one-on-one and protect yourself a little more in the passing game. So that's the second key of the game. Third key of the game, be able to adapt if our man coverage isn't working. And the only reason I say that, the Dolphins are mainly a man coverage team. I think I looked at the stats. We were like 50% man coverage, which compared to the rest of the league is very high. The reason I say that is because of the injuries that we have. The Jets receiving core is actually pretty solid, and Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. Those are actually pretty solid weapons, and I like our corners, right? But when you consider that X might be out, Byron Jones is out, when you have to leave some of these guys on islands between Nick Needham, Gator Kohu, and whoever our third corner is, probably Keon Crossan. But he's also a little nicked up, so maybe Igbenogany, who knows. When that's the case, we have to be able to adjust quickly if what we try and run our base man coverage defense, if it's not working and we're getting cooked, to be able to adapt quickly and switch up from that, because it could be a long day if you just try and force these guys to continue playing man coverage when it's not working. Like I said, if we're fully healthy, this is never on the list because that's what we do. You don't stray away from what you do. But with the injuries, yeah, I hope Boyer is quick to switch coverages based off how players are performing. So that's the third key of the game. Defensive players to watch, kind of similar to that point. Gator Kohu's on the top of the list. The dude has been tremendous. As a UDFA, he's been pretty flipping good the entire season. I mean, obviously every corner gets beat, especially in this defense, but he's been pretty stout, all things considered. I haven't heard his name called a lot at all this entire season. I've seen him around the ball a lot, making pass deflections, but in terms of letting up big plays, it's very limited from what I've seen. So very impressed by him. Hope he continues it. Maybe get some ball protection as well. That would be awesome. Number 2 on the list, Emmanuel Ogbah. As previously mentioned, the Jets' offensive line's absolutely deteriorated in terms of injuries. So see Emmanuel Ogbah take advantage of that, make some big plays, get some sacks, maybe a forced fumble. Would be nice to see. Number 3 on this list, I think it's just for me trolling my fellow Dolphins fans. Like I said, Xavier might not be playing. Keon Crosson's a little nicked up as well. Let me pull up the injury report, see what that says. I don't see him, but I'm pretty sure he's nicked up. Oh, yeah, here he is. 2 straight practices in which he didn't practice. So there's a very likely opportunity that we see Noah Igbenogany play. So he's my 3rd guy on the list. It kind of goes with the final key of the game, to be able to switch up coverages based off how your players are performing. So let's see how Igbenogany does if his number gets called. Should be interesting to see. So that is the defensive breakdown, and now I go into my prediction. I think with all the injuries and everything involved and the familiarity between the head coaches and schemes, I actually think this is going to be a much closer game than Dolphins fans might have anticipated initially, especially without Tua Tagovailoa. So I'm still predicting the Dolphins win. So far through 5 weeks, I've predicted a Dolphins dub all 5 weeks. I'm going to give a Dolphins win with the score of 27-24. So a very close game. Honestly, with our injuries and the Jets are an improving team and there's familiarity between the two, this could be a much closer game, could go either way. I like the Dolphins just based off the talent that we have, but like I said, who knows how it goes. That's it for the video. Comment down below your score predictions. I appreciate you guys for watching, and until next time, I'll catch y'all.